We're here at Shodair Children's Hospital with Dr. Heather Zalewski. She is the medical director of psychiatry here at Shodair. And I thought today, Heather, maybe we'd talk about sleep hygiene. I don't know about other viewers, but my teenager is not wanting to get up, not wanting to go to bed, and he says he's not alone.
Sure, that sounds like a great place to start, Alana. I would say that for little kids and for teenagers, they definitely need a lot of sleep. But it is also true that their kind of natural body clocks are different. So for little kids, their natural body clock is gonna, for the most part, unless you have one of those little wild night owls, which you might, but most little kids will want to go to bed at a fairly early time, say 8 o'clock, right around there. And then they'll sleep, they wake up pretty early, as we all know, right? So they might sleep, 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. or something like that, get 10, 11 hours of sleep. That would be a pretty normal sleep schedule for, say, a preschooler or early elementary school age child. Now, in those kind of elementary school years, sometimes kids don't need as much sleep, so maybe they're going to bed at 9 and they're getting up at 6 and they're doing okay. Then the teenage years come, and with puberty and all of the changes and rapid growth and all of that, really comes again another period of increased need for sleep. So teenagers also probably need about 10, 11 hours of sleep a night. Typical, everybody's a little different, but that would be pretty normal. But their biological clock is set later. So it is normal for teenagers to go to bed later and to sleep in later. And that's normal physiology. Actually, our school system does a terrible job of aligning with kids' natural physiology by expecting teenagers to be there earlier than little kids. It actually should be the opposite. And there's some really fascinating research out there on that. But anyway, so I think, in these strange times of COVID where kids are at home, it's really okay to let your child guide their daily schedule. Of course, as parents, we do have to set some limits. And so, of course, I encourage you to do that. But I would say, particularly with the teenagers, having some leniency for if they feel like they don't want to get up until 10 or 11 and then they want to stay up until 10 or 11, as long as they're getting their schoolwork done and getting enough sleep and aren't super crabby all the time, it's probably okay.
Great. What about general rules for sleep hygiene? What kinds of things should we be doing regularly to make sure we're getting the right sleep?
So I really think the biggest thing, Alana, and it's gotten harder and harder, is turning off electronics, right? It used to be as long as your kid didn't have a TV or a computer in their bedroom, you knew that they were not going to be on their screens at night. Well, now we have the whole cell phone issue, right? So again, I think if your kid is responsible and can be trusted with their cell phone at night, that's great. But if you know that your kid is up until all hours, Snapchatting with their friends or checking their Instagram feed or whatever they're doing, I also think it's totally within your rights as a parent to say the cell phone goes to bed at 10 o'clock. Bring it down, we'll charge it overnight, you can get it back in the morning.
Because there is a thing called alarm clocks that don't have to be your phone.
It's very true. Don't let your kids say, but I have to have my phone, my alarm's on it. There are these things that plug into the wall. We use them for a long time. They're very reliable. So yeah.
Are there other things that you recommend, like washing your face or not eating or eating, or what kinds of things to do?
Everybody's a little different, and I think developing a routine that works for you is great. I mean, I think a lot of people do well with that kind of nightly hygiene ritual, maybe a warm bath, maybe a cup of relaxing, herbal tea. But everybody's different. I like to read before bed, but some people that just gets their mind going. So, I think it's personal, and just developing that routine and then sticking to it is really the most important part.
So what about as we age? Can you talk a little bit about how much sleep should you and I get?
Yeah, that's interesting. I think it does vary depending on kind of where you're at. I know that for women, like perimenopause, menopausal years, often you do need more sleep. I have heard, although I'm not there quite yet, but I have heard that as you then age into more of your senior years, like 60s and 70s, sometimes people need less sleep.
So it's really just listening to your body, I guess, a little bit.
Yes, listening to your body, and when you feel rested, you've gotten the right amount of sleep.
Great. As always, COVID quarter with Dr. Z. If you have questions that you'd like Shodair or Dr. Z to answer, just leave them in the comments below. Thanks, Heather.
Okay, thank you.